Not on. Oh, now I am. Okay, good. I'm on now.
This fine tradition of providing a positive and respectful environment for all the athletes, coaches, and officials. Now, would you all please stand, remove your hats, and join Hersey's own Heart and Soul for the singing of our national anthem.
Not now, because we're on the national anthem. Last name? Latardo. Lexi Latardo.
Now for tonight's starting.
Oh, pay attention to this. Don't put on your headset. Listen to this and mark off who it is. Chesley.
For your Huskies, #1 senior, Tula Lushevsky. For the Mustangs, #10 senior.
Go on both. Here. See that?
Huskies, #3 senior, Ryan Verholtz. For the Mustangs, #11 true, Billy Miller. For the Huskies, #5 senior, Davis Belfort. For the Mustangs, #12 Alma Max Hersey. For the Huskies, #12 senior, Matt Hanashevsky. Rounding out for the Mustangs, #14 junior, Sean Logan. Rounding out for your Huskies, #24 senior, Rocco Macchio. The officials for tonight's game are Don Palmer, Andy Steen, and Jim Bernardi. Our senior athletic trainers are Peyton. The Mustangs are coached by Kevin Meadows.
This is it right here, right?
Yeah.
So we're on.
We're not on.
Huskies are
Wait, put us on. Come on. Put our face.
and assisted
Are we on?
Connor Rowley and Dave Scott. Before we get started with tonight's match, we ask for the safety of the athletes.
And welcome to tonight's Hersey vs. Rolling Meadows basketball game. I'm Sam Savchuk. Alongside me, I have Carter Zagorski.
And we are very excited to present as the Hersey Dispatch tonight's matchup. Tonight's starting five for the Rolling Meadows Mustangs. #3, Matt Chesley. #10, Javante Warner. #11, Billy Miller. #12, Max Christie. And #14, Sean Nolan. Going up against the Huskies, #3, Ryan Verholst. #5, Belford. #11, Jason Kafar. #12, Matt Hanashevsky. And #24, Rocco Ronzio. As the Mustangs convert off the tip-off. Good for a layup, as that is #10, Javante Warner, and the turnover by the Huskies. #10, Javante Warner, back up dribbling to the top of the key. He finds Shessling. Shessling guarded intensely by Hanashevsky. Back to Billy Miller. Miller dribbling to the top of the key. He gets the turnover by Jacob Kluszewski, #1, the anchor of the Husky defense. He finds Hanashevsky, the former all-conference player last year. Hanaszewski to Belford. Belford back to Hanaszewski. He's at the top of the key. Dribbling, finds Belford once again. Belford with a dribble move on Schessling. Hanaszewski finds Ronzio. Ronzio inside, finds Belford out on the wing. Ronzio and Belford passing back and forth. Belford to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski driving. No room. Dribbles back out, finds Belford cutting to the rim. Belford finds Kluszewski, who strongly puts it up. Cannot convert the layup, but does draw the foul. The foul is going to be on number 12, Max Christie. Christie is really the highlight of tonight's game. He is the main storyline. As a sophomore, he's being heavily recruited by D1 colleges across the country. He is not committed yet, obviously. He's only a sophomore, but as Kluszewski barely misses the first free throw. Christie, for you listeners back at home who have not heard of this kid, really a special talent. He's a guy that all of the MSL is watching. Kluszewski at the line. Cannot convert the second as well. He goes 0 for 2. Ronzio has a chance to collect the rebound, but tips it back to the Meadows, number 12, Max Christie. Christie passes to 14. That's Sean Nolan. Back to Christie. Back to number 2, Matt Schessling. And number 12, Christie cannot convert the layup. Great defense by the Huskies. That's Hanaszewski now. Collects the ball and the possession. He finds Belford. Belford, Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski driving. Finds Verhulst wide open in the corner. He cannot convert the three, but number 24, that's Rocco Ronzio. He gets the rebound. Cannot convert the layup. Has a third chance for the Husky possession. Ultimately knocked away. And that's a turnover as the Mustangs now inbounding to number 12. That's Max Christie. He's guarded by number 5. That's Davis Belford. Christie finds Javante Warner. He's number 10. Warner to Miller. Miller to Christie. Christie fires. He's covered by Belford from 3 and cannot convert. Rebound by Verhulst. Hanaszewski now crossing half court. He's guarded intensely by Schessling. Schessling not giving him any room as Hanaszewski tries to drive. Kicks it out to Verhulst. Verhulst to Belford. Belford, Ronzio. Ronzio at the top of the key. He finds Kluszewski, who was migrated away from his usual role in the center. And Hanaszewski finds Kluszewski once again at the elbow. And Kluszewski tries to make a move, cannot convert, passes it back out to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski drives to the rim. Great defense by the Mustangs as the layup does not fall, and Christie now takes it back the other way. Christie cannot convert the mid-range jumper, and a quick possession as the rebound by Kluszewski. He throws it out to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski to Belford. Belford goes in for the layup. Defense by Christie as the layup is not converted. Schessling drives and takes a step back to get room for the three-point jumper as he converts. The Huskies now find themselves down by 5 early in this first quarter. Hanaszewski guarded intensely by Schessling. Are they worried at all about the 8-second call? And they are, as Hanaszewski does cross half court in time. Hanaszewski finds Belford. Belford to Ronzio. Ronzio driving on Christie. And the defense switches as number 11, Billy Miller, takes him on. He finds Verhulst. Verhulst to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski fires from mid-range. Cannot convert the jumper. Rebound by Schessling. Schessling to Christie. Christie to number 10. That's Javante Warner. He drives inside, gets a good move on Ronzio, but ends up passing it out to number 11, Billy Miller. Miller converts the easy lay-in. And that's a 7-0 run to start the game for the Rolling Meadows Mustangs as Hanaszewski now finds Verhulst. Verhulst back to Hanaszewski. The pass was there by Hanaszewski to Ronzio. Ronzio could not collect, and as a result, that's a turnover.
Clicked off to shoe there.
Javante Warner finds Schessling. Schessling is intensely guarded by Hanaszewski. And from Miller, he gives it back to Christie. Christie fires from deep and cannot convert the long 3. That's a rebound by the Huskies. Hanaszewski taking it back up the court now. Kluszewski looking for a pass, does not get it as Hanno throws it to Belford. Belford drives. It looks pretty, but it did not fall as the rebound by Schessling. Schessling finds Miller. Miller to Christie, guarded by Belford. Schessling finds himself open at the top of the key. Husky fans are looking for a travel call, but none is given. And what a move by Javante Warner. He gets the defense sleeping, but cannot convert the layup. Rebound by the Huskies. Kluszewski gives it to Ronzio. Ronzio athletically drives to the rim. Had a good look, but was fouled by Sean Miller.
As we have right now, the Mustangs have 2 fouls and the Huskies have 0. This could be a good chance right here to put some points on the board.
And head coach Kevin Katovich for the Mustangs now talking to Schessling and Javante Warner. Warner quite upset as Ronzio does not convert the first free throw. And now checking in for the Huskies is number 30, Jason Schmidt, and Jason Confaro. And departing is Verholst and Kluszewski. Departing for the Mustangs is number 3. That's Matty Schessling. And number 14, Sean Nolan. Into the game, number 4, David Sopkowitz, as the second free throw is converted. And Christie now trying to work on Belford. Belford not giving any room. Christie defers to Javante Warner. Warner guarded by Ronzio. And a foul is called inside the paint on the Mustangs. It looks like that's on number 21. That would be Brandon Zuniga. That's a personal foul. As Schmidt inbounds to Hanaszewski. And the Mustangs pressing, unlike our Huskies, as Schmidt seemed to be slapped as he passed to Hanaszewski, but no foul called. Hanaszewski driving, splits the defense, only to dribble off his foot. That's a turnover as the Mustangs regain possession. Christie. And as he drives, he loses possession, fumbled it during the transition from his left hand to his right. And as a result, that's a turnover. Good for a Husky possession. Schmidt inbounding to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski guarded by Jace O'Hara. He checked into the game. Schmidt back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski to Ronzio. Ronzio to Belford. He's got a clear lane to the hoop. He drives, converts the layup, and gets the foul called. That's good for an and one opportunity. The foul is called on number 21, Brandon Zuniga. Good for his second in the span of his time on the court, and the team's 4th for the Mustangs. Belford now with a chance to convert the and one opportunity. Does so, nothing but net, and the Huskies now cut down the 7-0 run to only a 3-point lead for the Mustangs. Christie defended by Belford. Belford not giving any room. Smartly does not jump and plays great defense, yet Max Christie, the sophomore phenom, does convert the mid-range jumper. And now Cafaro driving, kicks it out to Schmidt. Schmidt to Hanaszewski, and a travel is called. And during this dead ball, Jacob Kluszewski checks in for number 24, Rocco Ronzio. Salves, what do you make of this electric first quarter so far?
These boys are moving fast. Their feet are moving. They're looking around. But the Huskies still are down by 5 points. But they've got to be throwing more shots up there. I think they're throwing enough shots.
Christie drives on both Belford and Cafaro. Cannot convert. Gets his own rebound. Goes up again and does convert the second chance opportunity. That's his 4th point of this ballgame. As Hanaszewski now and Cafaro in the backcourt working on the Rolling Meadows press. Hanaszewski passes to Cafaro. Back to Hanaszewski. He tries to create separation with his defender. Dribbles out, throws it to Belford. Belford back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski to Schmidt. Schmidt back to Hanaszewski. On the wing for 3. Dribbles inside. Tries to force to Schmidt. Ball is deflected away by the Mustangs. Kluszewski recovers. Cannot. Ooh, that looked quite physical. Kluszewski could not convert. Dove on the floor for the rebound. Nothing but heart. Nothing but hustle. Nothing else there, but unfortunately that was a personal foul on Kluszewski. And Kluszewski is checked out. No, just kidding. Let's see what's going on with the substitution here. Verholst back in the game, along with number 4 for your Huskies. That's Scott Rogowski. Christie now working on Belford. To 21, that's Zuniga. Zuniga to Christie. Christie driving, pulling up from mid-range at the free throw line. Nothing but net. Christie with his 6th point of the game. As Cafaro now driving inside, loses possession. Schmidt recovers for him. No, excuse me, Verholst recovers for him. Verhulst to Belford, Belford, Verhulst, Verhulst, Rogowski, Rogowski, Kafaro, Kafaro, Kluszewski, Kluszewski back to Kafaro, back inside to Kluszewski, cannot convert as Zuniga for the Mustangs gets the rebound. Back to Christie. Christie pulls up from deep three-point land. He converts from the 10-point line, or the 10-foot line on the volleyball court. And now Verhulst fires from three, cannot convert.
Close.
Kafaro does regain possession after Christie loses it. However, it is declared to be a travel on Christie. No basket for Kafaro. And at this point, the Huskies only have 1/4 of the Meadows points. They are down by a score of 16-4 as Kafaro inbounds. Trying to find someone, anyone. Finds Kluszewski inside. Easy 2 points. The large Kluszewski having his will and his way inside the paint as now Christie works on Belford once again. Rogowski playing tight defense on number 10. That's Javante Warner preventing the pass. Christie still has possession. Coach Austin Scott really getting into it with Belford right there, encouraging his player. And he is animated. That's Coach Austin Scott, the first-year head coach of your Hersey Huskies. He is really looking out for his players there as he does get the ref to blow the whistle and get the foul, and create the turnover. As Rogowski now passes to Verhulst with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, close.
He fires with 3 to go as number 10, that's Javante Warner, tries to turn it around with a half-court Hail Mary, and that's it. It's the top of the divider separating the Ken Carter Gymnasium. And wow, how about that? Ryan Verhulst has an opportunity with 5 seconds left in this first quarter to cut this lead from 16-6 to 16-8, or even convert a 3 to 16-9. And yet he falls victim to the Rolling Meadows Mustangs fan section, who deceived him by counting down with 3 seconds left to go, with plenty more time remaining.
Yes.
And as a result, that gives the Mustangs another opportunity. And so, no harm done. No points converted as a result. Hopefully, Coach Austin Scott can talk some sense into his players here and get the offense rolling.
Yes. They got to pick up the pace here. They're down by 10 points in here, and they got to pick that up. But they definitely have it in them. I've seen these Huskies play fast and win hard, so it's in their blood and it's in their stomachs, and they want this. You can tell.
And the Husky staff really taking issue with this refereeing so far. Really looking out for their players as the second quarter begins. From Holst to Hanaszewski, Schessling defending. Hanaszewski to Verhulst, back to Hanaszewski. He finds Kafaro. Kafaro to Verhulst in the corner. He's defended as number 14 for the Mustangs. That's Sean Nolan. He deflects the possession held by Verhulst. Yet Huskies still have the ball. Verhulst now looking for someone, anyone. He finds Kluszewski. Kluszewski defended. I mean, he has like 6 inches of a height difference on Matt Schessling. And Hanaszewski now double teamed, finds Kafaro, back to Hanaszewski. The all-conference player passes to the three-point specialist for Verhulst, and Verhulst cannot convert. And a foul is called on the floor in the process of the rebounding on Rolling Meadows guard number 12, Max Christie. That is his second in the game, and the player with 9 points now finds himself with 2 fouls. And checking in now is Jonah Ugunsanya. He comes in for Max Christie. Coach Kevin Katovich wanting to avoid any chance of Christie fouling out early, as Ronzio now finds Hanaszewski at the top of the key after the inbound. Ronzio fires from 3, thought about it, then fired, and defended by newly checked in Jonah Ugunsanya. Does not fall, yet Hanaszewski, second chance opportunity, does convert from deep. And now the Husky lead, or the Husky deficit, is cut down by 3. Ugunsanya finds Nolan. Nolan to Billy Miller, cannot convert from 3, and a big rebound by Matt Hanaszewski. Coach Austin Scott asking his players, demanding them to push the tempo, and they do. Ronzio on the wing finds Schmidt. Back to Ronzio. He fires from 3, 0 for 2. Does not convert. Yet another foul is called inside on the Mustangs. And it seems to be called on number 10, Javante Warner. He is not having any of it, taking quite an issue with the refs, and so is his head coach, Kevin Kedovich. And in now to the game, Davis Belford, as number 30, Schmidt departs. And basketball goes on as Hanaszewski now receives the inbound pass. He throws it to Ronzio. Ronzio to Belford to Verhulst in the corner. He is heavily guarded by Miller. Verhulst back to Ronzio. Ronzio trying to find separation. He finds Hanaszewski with relief. He finds Verhulst with the alley-oop.
Look at that. That was a nice move right there.
What a beautiful play by Ryan Verhulst and Hanaszewski. That connection is something that'll really help this Husky team throughout the rest of the year, as the shots by number 11, that's Billy Miller, does not come close. Huskies rebound.
There we go.
And turn it around immediately as Jacob Kluszewski, the senior leader, the emotional leader, gets a huge bucket inside the paint, assisted by Hanaszewski, as the 16-6 lead by the Mustangs heading into the second quarter is now cut to a lead of 3.
These Huskies really can get a lead by the end of this quarter.
And we saw a lot of physicality in this first quarter.
Yes.
A lot of bumping back and forth, and the referees, realizing that this might turn into something ugly,
Yes.
have come to their senses in the eyes of Husky fans and have really started blowing their whistle. And as a result, the Mustangs have 6 team fouls, so the Hersey Huskies 1 team foul. And that's really getting the Hersey Husky fan section, otherwise known as the Orange Crush, really fired up, led by Brent Gervis and Jake Lavin.
Or you could say going bananas.
And the rest of the Hersey fans in a really good mood right now, with their team only down 3. As Ugo Nsanya drives inside, kicks it to number 10, that's Javante Warner. He drives on Verhulst and Kluszewski, has an open look, cannot convert the layup, and as a result, Hanaszewski drives, immediately goes down. Hanaszewski to Kluszewski. He pops it out to Belford. Belford cannot, once again, convert from 3. Yeah, look at that effort by Rocco Ronzio inside. He gets the offensive rebound, cannot convert the layup. Yet a third chance by Jacob Kluszewski as he gets the rebound, and he cannot convert as well. So back on offense, the Mustangs go. And would you look at that? That's number 1, Jace O'Hara. Some would say that that was happy feet right there, as the ref signaled that that was a travel call. Both referees nodding in agreement on this half of the court, as Verhulst in line to inbound to Hanaszewski. Ugo Nsanya playing tight defense on Hanaszewski before he crossed the midcourt, now sags off. That leaves Hanaszewski open for the pass to Ronzio. Ronzio back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski looking for someone. He finds number 25, that's Clausen, working inside. And the ref signal that Hersey will maintain possession with Verhulst set to inbound. Verhulst, time ticking away on his 5 seconds of possession, and he finds Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski guarded by Schessling. Finds Ronzio on the wing. He finds Verhulst in the corner. Verhulst sends it to Clausen, back to Verhulst. Back to Ronzio at the top of the key. He finds Belford. Belford looking for Hanaszewski, cutting. Instead, drives himself.
Bam,
converts
baby.
the layup. Gets an and 1. Belford really feeling himself right now as he lines up for the and 1 opportunity once again. That's the second foul for number 14 on your Rolling Meadows Mustangs. That's Sean Nolan. Yet the team has 7 team fouls, 1 away from a bonus, as Belford lines up for the 3-point play. He fires, converts, and the Huskies have now tied this game on a 10-0 run to start the second quarter. Ugo Nsanya works on Belford. Belford not letting up. Ugo Nsanya picks up the ball, finds Schessling, who relieves him, and Schessling fires inside to number 1, that's Jace O'Hara. He picks it back out to Sean Nolan. Nolan to number 10, that is Javante Warner. Warner back to Ugo Nsanya. Ugo Nsanya fires from 2 feet inside the 3-point line, cannot convert, and a rebound by Ronzio and Verhulst of the Huskies. Hanaszewski now fires back inside to Verhulst to Belford in the corner. Kicks it out to Ronzio, who throws it to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski driving on Ugo Nsanya. He finds Ronzio on the wing. Cannot convert the three-point play. And Jace O'Hara of the Mustangs with the rebound. He finds number 14. That's Sean Nolan. Nolan working on Clausen. No room to go. As Jace O'Hara stuck in the corner by Verhulst, yet he finds Ugo Nsanya. O'Hara kicks it out to Warner. Warner driving behind the back pass to Schessling. Seems like no one really saw that coming. And it looks like Nolan being guarded by Clausen up on the wing. O'Hara fires from 3 in the wing. Not even close. He did not find the rim or the backboard there as Belford gets the rebound, finds Hanaszewski for the three-pointer. Was hit on the arm by Ugo Nsanya. No whistle blown. Ryan Verhulst gets the offensive rebound and converts the second chance opportunity. And a foul is called on the Husky defensive possession, and that falls on the floor. It is called on number 25. That's Dan Clausen. And since it's on the floor, the Meadows Mustangs will be set to inbound as we see a platoon shift for both squads. Ronzio and Verhulst checking out of the game. Cafaro back in, along with Kluszewski, Schmidt, Belford, and Hanaszewski for the Huskies. For the Mustangs, it's Ugo Nsanya. It's Miller. It's Javante Warner. It's Sean Nolan. And it's Jace O'Hara. Correction, it's Daniel Sobkowitz. And a lot of discussion going on down by the block as they seek some clarity for the foul call. And as a result, the Hersey Huskies, in line with their 6 tenets of pride, passion, and such, they huddle up only for the play to resume. Ugo Nsanya fires from 3, guarded by Belford, hits the back of the rim, and bounces out for a Schmidt rebound. Good for the Huskies' possession. Hanaszewski works on Schessling. Correction, Sobkowitz. And the field goal is good by Matt Hanaszewski from inside the three-point arc, and now the Huskies have a 4-point lead with a lead of 20-16 after only putting up 6 points in the first quarter. Sobkowitz now, guarded by Hanaszewski. He drives, pulls up, hands it off to Ugo Nsanya, who finds number 14, Sean Nolan, who then proceeds to drive directly into number 11, Jace Cafaro of your Hersey Huskies, who takes it just like they taught him as he was growing up to take the charge, and as a result, that's an offensive foul and a turnover for the Mustangs. Hanaszewski now finds Cafaro. The smart Cafaro drives inside, works on number 11 of the Mustangs. That's Billy Miller. Cannot convert the layup, yet a foul is called once again. And as the refs determine who that foul was called on, they signal that it is committed by number 11, Billy Miller. Miller has committed his first foul of this ballgame, yet the Mustangs team has committed 9. And as a result, the Huskies are in the bonus, but no matter. Kluszewski was fouled on a shooting play and will get 2 from the free throw line. As checking into the game now, it's number 1 for the Mustangs. That's Jace O'Hara, who fills in for Sean Nolan. And number 15, James Nolan, the junior, coming in for number 30. That's Jason Schmidt. And so Schmidt, Cafaro, Kluszewski, Belford, and Hanaszewski round out the 5 for the Hersey Huskies. It appears that it was actually a foul on the floor, as it wasn't a 1-and-1 free throw. Kluszewski could not convert, and as a result, the Mustangs get the rebound and the offensive possession. And a turnover. Jace Cafaro with the steal. He finds Hanaszewski, who drives right down the court. Cannot convert the layup. The second chance by Kluszewski. The tip-in does not fall. It's a tough play after all. And so Mustangs back with offense possession. That's number 10, Javante Warner. He cannot convert the mid-range jumper. And once again, these Huskies are back on offense. Hanaszewski finds Nolan inside. Nolan cannot convert the mid-range jumper. He gets a second chance of the tip-in. Cannot find it. And Warner with the rebound. He throws it out to Sobkowitz, who cannot convert the three. And back on offense are these Hersey Huskies. Nolan finds Haniszewski. Haniszewski driving on Sobkowitz. Looking for help. He finds Kluszewski, who pounds it inside, only to dish it out to Belford. Belford dishes it back to Kluszewski, who finds Nolan with the backdoor pass. Nolan was not guarded whatsoever and is easily converting the two-pointer. Back on offense are the Mustangs. That's Ungon Sanya. He hands it off to Miller. Miller to Sobkowitz. Sobkowitz back to Jace O'Hara. O'Hara looking inside for number 11, Billy Miller. He kicks it out to back to Sobkowitz. He fires from three-point land and converts. Cafaro inbounds to Haniszewski as these Huskies look to respond. Their 6-point lead now cut to just 3. Kluszewski finds Cafaro. He fakes, but the defender, number 1, Jace O'Hara, does not budge. And a strong defensive possession by these Mustangs. The Euro step move performed by number 4, Daniel Sobkowitz, in his offensive possession. And oh no, this is not good. Kluszewski, the big man for these Hersey Huskies, the core of this team, is hobbling. That does not look good. And checking in now is Dan Clausen for these Huskies. He comes in for Kluszewski as we seek some answers. And quite honestly, we hope for all the best for Kluszewski. He is a key cog for this Husky offense, defense, and most importantly, mentality as the Huskies look to battle on. The Mustangs inbounds to number 10. That's Javante Warner. And it looks like an offensive foul is called. And even though the Huskies are in the bonus because they were on defense, they do not get the free throws. No 1-on-1 is present. Instead, they simply receive possession. And checking in now before Verhulst can inbound is number 3, Matt Schessling. He checks in for number 10, Javante Warner, after his offensive foul. Verhulst finds Haniszewski. Schessling on Haniszewski. He finds Cafaro. Cafaro to Ronzio, the 2-on-1, and he had Clausen. He instead drove to the hole, could not convert the layup. Head coach for the Mustangs, Kevin Katovich, seeking some answers there. As the Mustangs do not get possession, instead the Huskies and Verhulst will inbound. Verhulst finds Cafaro with only 30 seconds left in this first half. Ronzio back to Haniszewski, to Clausen. Clausen inside, works his defender, and the ball just rattles out. The rebound by number 4, Daniel Sobkowitz, as he drives past midcourt. Haniszewski with a stellar defensive play, but the Mustangs recover. Sobkowitz now throws it to Ugon Sanwa. And a foul is called as Ugon Sanya leapt up in an effort to try to throw the ball to one of his teammates. As the second foul on number 24 for your Hersey Huskies, that's Rocco Ronzio, was called as he bumped into Ugon Sanya. And now, before the Mustangs could inbound, a foul is called on the Huskies, number 25, Dan Clausen. That is his first in the game, and the 4th in this first half for the Huskies. Sobkowitz now receives the inbound pass. He's working at the top of the wing. He throws it to number 21. That's Zuniga. And as number 4, Daniel Sobkowitz, drove to the rim, a foul is called on number 11, Jace Cafaro of your Hersey Huskies. A lot of contact there during that layup. Cafaro didn't think so. And now shooting, too, is number 4, Daniel Sobkowitz. And at this break in the action, Sobs, what do you expect out of this last 2 seconds here in this first half?
Well, the Mustangs could put these 2 shots in now and be only down by 1, which will really be a motivation for them.
As Sobkowitz converts the first. Huskies looking to turn around with a defensive rebound and a quick basket with 2 seconds left in this half. As Sobkowitz drains both free throws, Huskies now only up 1. And the shot is no good, not in time, as they tried to get it off in time and simply could not beat the buzzer. And at this point in this ball game, we have reached the end of the first half. Your Hersey Huskies leading by 1 point, 22-21. And Sam Sobchak, as you're watching this game, very up-tempo, very
fast.
A lot of offense, but a lot of defense going on too. What are some of your takeaways from this first half?
So we can tell that Rolling Meadows is playing really aggressive. They have considerably more fouls than Hersey does. Hersey, I believe, only had 3 fouls at the end of it. And I forgot what the Mustangs had. It was 10. So the Mustangs are much more aggressive right now, which could be why they're still down by 1 point, because Hersey had those opportunities to get those free throws and get those just free points right there. So they gotta be careful what they're doing with their hands, what they're going for, and just Hersey right now is doing a great job staying fast, keep moving, and looking for each other and being ready to catch that ball and put it in.
And entering this game, the largest storyline was sophomore guard for the Rolling Meadows Mustangs, Max Christie. He's number 12 out there, as he is being heavily recruited and scouted by not only divisional opponents within our MSL East, but also across the conference and really across the state. As high schools are all taking notice, this guy is generating so many storylines. He's such a talented and hard-working basketball player. But now at this point, as we're halfway through this basketball game, the new storyline is Jacob Kluszewski. We saw him hobble off the court in the end of the first half.
Yes.
Really a key component of this Husky team in so many ways, more ways than one. So many questions now. And a void that really needs to be filled by fellow forwards, guys like Dan Clausen and even Jason Schmidt.
Yes.
We saw him getting a lot of rebounds in this game as well. And so, as there's 8 minutes before the start of the second half, a lot of questions and a lot of different things looming over this Hersey Huskies roster.
So hopefully Jacob's okay. I saw him checking in with the Hersey athletic trainer, Rick Bacon. So hopefully he can shake it off in this halftime and get back in there, because he's definitely a good asset to the team, and he will be missed if he's not playing the rest of the half.
And so our trainer, Mr. Bacon, is one of the best, if not the best, trainer in the state of Illinois. He will do everything he can to get Kluszewski back in the game.
Yes.
And the cheers you may be hearing right now are from the crowd, as differing members of the Rolling Meadows and Hersey fan sections are shooting free throws in a game of knockout. So far, no one has been knocked out yet. But anyway, back to more important things. Mr. Bacon, one of the best in the land, and Coach Austin Scott appreciates this. He definitely understands the importance of having an amazing trainer. He told me just as such this afternoon as I was interviewing him for Hersey's first ever podcast named The Howl. You can follow The Howl on Twitter at The Howl Podcast with tweets informing the Hersey Huskies community of all different events going on, as well as check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all your other major podcasting platforms as the newest edition with head coach, first-year coach, Austin Scott will be put up on the worldwide internet in a few hours as I look to put it out there as I get home. But 6 minutes until the start of the second half, and we'll let you go here. Check back in with Sam Sobchak along with myself, Kotar Zagorski, in a few moments. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Ken Carter Gymnasium here on the campus of John Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, Illinois, as your John Hersey High School Hersey Huskies are taking on the Rolling Meadows Mustangs in a MSL East divisional matchup to open up the conference season. I'm Carter Zagorski once again alongside Sam Sobchak, and here as we open up the second half as the Huskies lead by 1 point, 22-21. What are some of your thoughts, Sam Sobchak?
It's a really close game right now. It's anyone's game. Just like Rolling Meadows got to be careful with their fouls, and Hersey's got to be quick on their feet and get that ball up in the air into the basket. And
so since we cut the feed during those last few minutes, notably, Mitch Johnson, a senior here at Hersey High School, won the challenge of knockout against 4 other Orange Crush members and 5 members of the Rolling Meadows fan section. So congratulations to Mitch. Wish you nothing but the best in the future. And as we await the start of the second half here, one of the storylines, as we briefly talked about, was Jacob Kluszewski. Still no word on if he's returning to tonight's game. That should be evident as the game progresses. But in case you missed the previous broadcast, Sam and I broadcasted the girls' basketball game between the Rolling Meadows Mustangs and your Hersey Huskies. And in a rematch of last season's insanely thrilling Hersey Huskies victory, in which they toppled the Mustangs on senior night to clinch a spot in the MSL conference game, which they ended up winning. The Mustangs did avenge that loss from last season and toppled the Huskies 54-41. And Kluszewski is now back on the court. He is alongside Verhulst, Hanaszewski, Ronzio, and Belford as the Huskies open up the second half. They're going up against Christie. Number 10, Javante Warner, Schessling, Billy Nelson, or Billy Miller, and Sean Nolan. And a foul is called. That's on number 24 for your Hersey Huskies. That's Rocco Ronzio. And the inbound to number 14. He passes to number 10. That's Javante Warner. Warner to Schessling. Schessling finding Christie at the top of the key. Christie pulls up just inside the 3-point line and does not convert. Rebound by Kluszewski. Kluszewski to Hanaszewski. He's guarded intensely by Schessling at the half court. Hanaszewski finds Ronzio. Ronzio back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski looking for someone, looking for any movement by his offense, and there you go. Ronzio moves, creates some opening for Hanaszewski to hand it off to Verhulst. Verhulst finds Belford. Belford does not convert the layup. The ball bounces underneath the basket. Kluszewski dives, saves the possession, only for Rolling Meadows to deflect it back out of bounds. And so as a result of that defensive stellar play, Verhulst is here to inbound. Verhulst finds Belford wide open on the wing. Schessling gets there just in time to defend what would have been a wide open 3-point jumper. And the deflection by Christie on the pass to Kluszewski results in a turnover. Christie now, defended by both Verhulst and Belford before he can even hit the quarter mark across the full length of the court. And so Christie gets past both, finds Schessling wide open in the corner. He converts for the second time tonight from 3-point land. And as a result, the Rolling Meadows Mustangs are now up by 2 points. Ronzio passes back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski to Belford. Belford had a lane to cut to the basket. Instead passes out to Verhulst. Verhulst fires from 3, cannot convert. And I don't believe he has made one 3-pointer yet in this game. Ronzio with a really significant hustle play. Looks like he's was not able to. Yes, it looks like he was not unable to keep possession, and as a result, that is a regaining of the ball by Max Christie and the Rolling Meadows Mustangs. Christie with the ball at the top of the key. He's receiving a screen by his fellow teammate, number 14, Sean Nolan. Nolan kicks it out to number 11. That's Billy Miller. He cannot convert from 3, and the Huskies' rebound means that Hanaszewski has now crossed half court. Guarded by Schessling. Hanaszewski to Belford. Belford to Verhulst. He drives on Christie. Christie takes the body, no foul called, and the defensive possession by the Mustangs turns into an offensive one. Christie is the recipient of some stellar defense by Belford and Hanaszewski, yet regains possession, goes up for a second opportunity, and does convert the layup, and the Mustang lead is increased to 4. Hanaszewski, Belford, and Ronzio all guarded intensely around half court, and the potential for an over and back call is avoided. As Verhulst now is dribbling as he's guarded by number 10, that's Javante Warner. Belford covered and smothered by Bailey Miller, results in a foul and a dead ball. And as a result, number 24, Rocco Ranzio, is checked out of the game, and into the game is Jace Cafaro. Cafaro receives the inbound from Verhulst, tries to put it up over his head, cannot convert, and then, in an effort to save the ball from falling out of bounds, turns it over. Christie now, working on Belford. Christie with the dribble move, avoids Hanaszewski. Verhulst attempting to take the charge, does not get the whistle, and the stellar defensive possession and really the stellar offensive move does not yield a bucket. And now Hanaszewski driving on Schessling. Kicks it out to Cafaro, wide open from mid-range. He fires and once again cannot convert. And Schessling now back on offense. He hands it off to Christie. Christie, the recipient of both looks from Hanaszewski and Belford, and decides to pull up once again from the 10-foot line in volleyball. That's a long way away from the basket, and he does not convert. And when Hanaszewski receives the pass, the outlet pass, and hands it off to Belford, Belford is called for a travel. And Austin Scott is having none of that. He is growing a little bit frustrated with his players, but will now try to talk some sense into them as he signals for a timeout, the first in this second half. And so, Sobs, we've seen a lot of action so far.
Yes.
It's good to see that Kluszewski's back in the game, but what's not good to see is that we haven't scored a bucket yet in the few minutes that have been played so far. And so with 5 minutes left to go in this third quarter, if you're coach Kevin Katovich for the Mustangs, and if you're coach Austin Scott for the Huskies, what are you saying?
They got to be looking around, playing good defense, watching each other, looking at their teammates, communicating, and just keep those feet moving. Don't ever be stationary. That's as basic as it gets, but they just got to keep moving and keep their eyes open.
So one of the other things that Austin Scott told me in his interview today on our podcast is that he really preaches team unity across all levels of his program, something that's new to Hersey. And so as a result, you see not only the shared uniforms, which look so fresh and so clean on our Hersey Huskies, but also the pullovers in the crowd. All of the Hersey Huskies players at the JV, sophomore, and freshman levels sitting behind the bench with the same pullover. And immediately out of the timeout, Max Christie drives to the hole and converts a layup. Hanaszewski now back in offense, passes to Belford, who hands it back off to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski driving, gets past both two defenders, and Verhulst is the recipient of a wide open corner three and once again cannot convert. It seems like these shots are just simply not falling for these Hersey Huskies. Back on offense now is Schessling, the dangerous three-point shooter. He hands it off to Nelson. Nelson back to Christie. Christie, that's Warner. He hands it back off to Miller. And in the corner is number 10, that is Javante Warner. He hits the three in the corner. And on the offensive end, Hanaszewski turns right back around with a travel call. And once again, Austin Scott is animated, defending his players. Belford now guarding Christie. Christie passes it to Warner. Warner drives, stuffed by Jacob Kluszewski, and a whistle is blown. Let's see who this foul is on. The referee signals that it is on number 10, Javante Warner. Warner now has 3 fouls in this ballgame, and foul trouble is looming for these Mustangs as both Warner, Christie, and Sean Nolan all have 3 fouls apiece. And checking in now is number 4, Daniel Sobkowitz for Warner. Verhulst now dribbling, back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski to Cafaro. Cafaro looking for someone. He finds Belford open across the court. Belford goes up, cannot convert the layup. Solid defense there by number 11, Billy Miller. And after the rebound, a foul is called on number 5, Davis Belford. Belford on the defensive possession before the Mustangs could cross the half-court line. Fouled the offensive player, and as a result, Christie now finds Schessling. Schessling to Sobkowitz. Sobkowitz guarded by Hanaszewski. And that's Christie. Will he pull up? No! Oh, look at that dribble move. And He spins, gets around Belford, and is unsuccessful in his attempt to score the layup, yet draws the foul on Davis Belford once again. And checking in now is Rocco Ronzio for the Huskies. In a moment, after this free throw. Christie with a chance for 2. And so Sobs, we're looking at this game, and it's been a solid 4 minutes or so.
Yes.
For the Hersey Huskies, and not a single point of offense.
That's very true, but they got to get their heads in the game, or else they're going to get too far behind and not be able to catch up.
Christie nails the first. Ronzio comes in, checks in for Verhulst. In order for these Huskies to get back on track in this second half, as they're now down by 10 points.
Yes.
Verhulst needs to heat up a little bit. He needs to get his buckets to go in, and he can.
Yes.
He's such a talented player.
Yes.
Very talented. The rest of this Huskies offense here.
All of them are good.
It just seems like these shots aren't falling. And now, after both free throws were converted, the Mustangs lead by 11. The pass by Hanaszewski in the lane is deflected by the Mustangs, only for Kluszewski to recover and convert the layup. And not only that, he draws a foul on number 14, Sean Nolan. And with an and-one opportunity now, into the game now, checking in for the Huskies is number 30, Jason Schmidt, and number 1 for the Mustangs, Jace O'Hara. And now the Mustang lead is down to 9. With Kluszewski, who was injured in the first half and is playing through it, had a chance to make it 8, and he does. And with 3 minutes to go in this third quarter, Christie now drives on Schmidt. Schmidt and Hanaszewski both defending Christie. Hanaszewski back on his own defender, or offensive player. And a foul is called. Correction. While Christie was attempting to drive to the rim, the referee called a travel. And so as a result, Schmidt now inbounding to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski across the court to Schmidt. Schmidt looking for Cafaro, instead goes back to Hanaszewski. Still not crossed half court, now they do. Kluszewski with possession. He hands it off to across the court to Schmidt. Schmidt finds Cafaro, who finds Kluszewski inside. Attempts to use some magic touch and get it in the rim, and instead clanks off the front, and as a result, Christie with the rebound is now dribbling up against Schmidt. O'Hara with the screen on Schmidt, and Cafaro called for the reach-in foul. What do you make of these fouls in the second half so far, Dan? Sam?
They're really happening, and they're much more than other first half. There's very little in the first half, but they're really getting their hands moving to other people, and it's just causing lots of fouls and lots of free throws.
And Verhulst is back in for the Huskies for Cafaro. And Billy Miller for the Mustangs is also back into the game.
Checking in for Hersey, number 3, Ryan Reynolds, and number 5, Davis Belford.
As we wait for play to resume, and now it does. The inbound to Sobkowitz. Sobkowitz defended by Schmidt. Schmidt with a medium amount of separation as Sobkowitz finds Christie on the wing, defended by Belford. Belford defends the one dribble and the three-pointer that does not fall. Hanaszewski now to Schmidt. Schmidt to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski to Kluszewski. He's double-teamed. And Belford, as a result, is open. Belford drives to the hole, defended by number 11, Billy Miller, who cannot contain Belford as he acrobatically lays one in. Boy, that was reminiscent of Derrick Rose.
Yes, it was.
And Max Christie now, defended by Belford, finds Schessling open on the wing, who throws it inside to Christie, who converts the layup. And so the Mustangs answer with a two-pointer of their own. And Kluszewski on the other end turns it up. Christie spinning, driving, and while he was defended cleanly by Belford, the referee signaled that Matt Hanaszewski committed a reach-in violation. And now checking in for the Rolling Meadows Mustangs is number 21, Brandon Zuniga, as number 11, Billy Miller, exits the game. Christie to inbound. He's looking for someone. He finds O'Hara. O'Hara open on the three-point line, defers. Instead passes to Schessling across the court on his own wing. Schessling with an open look to the rim. He drives, cannot convert. Awesome defense by the Huskies as Kluszewski with the rebound finds Belford. Belford driving. That hang time, wow. Davis Belford leapt into the air, was up in the air for what seemed like eternity. As his defender fell to the floor, he held onto the ball, and as he laid it in, was fouled by the Mustangs. He now goes to the line for a chance for 2 additional points for these Hersey Huskies, as the Mustangs, who at one point had an 11-point lead in this third quarter, now only have 6. Belford does not convert his first free throw. That will hurt the Hersey Huskies, as he looks to get the second one to fall, as these referees, Kluszewski and number 21 for the Mustangs, Brandon Zuniga, have a little chat. As play now resumes, Belford with possession of the ball. He lines up and gets the second to fall. Calm, cool, and collected. That's Davis Belford as he nails the second. Husky deficit now only 5. Zuniga finds Schessling open on the corner. Hanaszewski covers the defense. Schessling dribbling, finding someone. He finds Christie. Christie dribbling on Belford. O'Hara maybe looking for the backdoor pass. Christie pulls up with 1 foot inside of the three-point line and gets the mid-range jumper to fall. Hanaszewski now driving on Sobkowitz. Belford on O'Hara. Hanaszewski on Sobkowitz. That's Verhulst. He nails it! What a critical three-pointer by Ryan Verhulst. He has not hit one yet this game, and then he answers with one of his own. O'Hara finds Christie. Christie looking for someone with 30 seconds left in this third quarter. Belford not giving him any room. Christie drives with his right hand, finds O'Hara, who kicks it out to Schessling, who is wide open on the wing, and bricks a three-point jumper. He's been hot all game, is unable to get that one to fall. And as Kluszewski throws the deep ball to number 38, Jason Schmidt, who cannot control the pass and looks to throw it out to the corner, the referees signal a travel. And as a result, Gaffaro checks back into the game for Schmidt. The Husky 5 with 12 seconds left in the quarter. Verhulst, Belford, Gaffaro, Kluszewski, and Hanaszewski. And with 10 seconds left now, Christie and Zuniga leading their offense. 5 seconds left. Christie on the wing, covered by Belford. He fires from 3 and nails it at the buzzer. Verhulst with an attempt to inbound with 1 second remaining, to no avail. And what a 3 of his own. Answering the Verhulst triple is Max Christie, as the seemingly now close game has a margin increased to 7. Now, Sam, we're looking at 8 minutes left in this ballgame. 7 points the difference for these Hersey Huskies. We saw a lot of fouls in this first half, a lot of fouls. And now in the second half, only 8 fouls combined between these two teams. What has been the story of this second half so far in regards to defense?
Both teams are putting up really good defense, but as you can see by the score, the Mustangs are putting up a better defense because they're still 7 points ahead of the Huskies. These Huskies got to fight through that defense and get that ball in the basket if they want any chance to win this game.
And it seems like the offense is starting to kick up for these Huskies.
Yes.
We know that these Hersey Huskies can be quite a handful for any defense in the state. They previously defeated DuSable by a score of 64-34, Stevenson by a score of 64-58, and Jacobs by 11 points in the Edmo Leader Thanksgiving tournament last week, only to fall to York in what would end up being the championship match, as they tied for first in the tournament, losing the title on tiebreakers to York, which they lost to by a score of 38-54. And now they seek to avenge this loss, as they're down by 7, to these Rolling Meadows Mustangs as the fourth quarter begins. Hanaszewski throws it to Verhulst, who's covered by O'Hara. Hanaszewski gets the ball back, throws to Gaffaro, who throws back to Verhulst. He fires from 3. He is red hot, ladies and gentlemen. He fires and converts his second 3 in as many minutes, as the Husky lead, or deficit, is now only 4. Verhulst answering Christie's 3 with one of his own. And now Christie with possession, drives to the lane, is guarded by Verhulst. He attempted to draw the charge. He probably had a good case for one, but to no avail, as Christie converts the layup. Max Christie is putting on quite a show here, ladies and gentlemen. As Gaffaro now with possession, throws it to Belford. Belford strongly takes it to the hole, good for a layup of his own. As now, he answers Christie the layup, and the Husky deficit is now only 4 once again. And the referee now is signaling the number 21 for your Rolling Meadows Mustangs, Brandon Zuniga, traveled as he was pressured by the Husky defense, led by, in the backcourt, Man Hanishevsky and Davis Belford. And now, Ryan Verhulst, he's red hot right now, ladies and gentlemen. He will inbound to Hanishevsky. Hanishevsky covered by Schessling in this 4-point game. Schessling back to Verhulst. Or Hanishevsky to Verhulst, back to Hanishevsky. Hanishevsky driving. He takes it, covered by 3 defenders. Cannot convert the layup. Kluszewski with the rebound. He cannot convert. With a third chance, he takes the power move to the hole, scoring on Max Christie and Brandon Zuniga. And now, Belford with the steal on Christie. Belford driving, and Christie is not deterred. He leaps up and blocked Belford's layup. A lot of fans here are signaling that they believe that that should be goaltending, as Belford clearly released the ball, and the ball probably was above the arc of his shot when Christie athletically, amazingly, knocked the ball out of midair. As he slammed it against the backboard, the referee is now signaling that it was a clean block. Belford will have no chance to capitalize on that possession, and as a result, the Hersey Husky fans are not having it. The Rolling Meadows fans, however, are loving all of it.
Yes.
And now, number 14 for the Mustangs, Sean Nolan, lines up to inbound. Nolan to 10, that's Javante Warner. Haven't heard his name in a while. He looks to kick up his scoring action like he did in the first half. Warner guarded by number 12 for your Hersey Huskies. That's Hanishevsky. Christie fires from the free throw line, jumps over 2 different defenders, including Hanishevsky, and converts. And the Mustangs' lead is stretched to 4. And the referees now. What do you say? Trying to control this game. Quite animated on both sidelines. Both players, or both coaches, just looking out for the best interest of their players, as Verhulst and Hanishevsky in the backcourt look to lead this Hersey offense back to a lead. Cafaro drives to the hole, beats 3 different defenders, Max Christie, Sean Nolan, and Jace O'Hara, and the lead after his layup is now only 2 for your Rolling Meadows Mustangs. Christie finds Schessling open on the corner. Cafaro, tight defense, prevents the 3. As Christie shoots the layup, a foul is called on the Huskies. As Christie prepares to shoot both free throws, the referee signaled that Jacob Kluszewski is the culprit. And so now the Huskies, who were the recipients of 10 team fouls by the Mustangs in the first half, now have committed 6 of their own, double the 3 committed by the Mustangs in the second half. As Christie nails the first, the lead is increased to 3, still a 1-possession game. But with time ticking away, almost 6 minutes left in this game, every point counts, and Christie knows that as he nails his second free throw, going 2 for 2. Hanishevsky now driving. He finds Cafaro on the wing. Cafaro defended vigorously by O'Hara. Cafaro finds space, and then Kluszewski. Kluszewski driving. Remember, he was injured in this game, but he's showing no sign of it. What an impressive performance by Kluszewski. As Belford drives to the hole, a foul is called on the Mustangs. The foul called on number 10, that's Javante Warner. Warner now has 4 fouls in this ballgame, ladies and gentlemen. The same amount as number 14, Sean Nolan. And fouls loom over this Mustangs team. Belford now at the line. He cannot convert the first as Rocco Ranzio checks in. Correction, Rocco is checking in for Belford, the shooter, and so he will come into the game at the next side ball. Whereas the Mustangs check in Sobkowitz for number 10, Javante Warner. And the offensive rebound on the second missed free throw by Belford comes via Cafaro. And another dead ball is signaled as finally Ronzio checks in for Belford. And with the Huskies regaining possession off of the Mustangs' deflection, Verhulst looks to inbound. He finds Cafaro. Cafaro covered by Sopkowitz. He drives. Has an open look, cannot convert. He wishes he had that one back. And as a result, Christie drives down through 4 different members of the Husky defense. And oh my goodness, I think Kluszewski has a case there. The referee's blowing the whistle on number 1, Jacob Kluszewski of the Huskies, for a blocking foul. I don't know, Sobs. It looked like he was straight up. His arms were not moving.
No.
He himself was not moving, and so he had positioning on the offensive player.
Yes.
But Christie's so talented, he can create fouls, create the separation, and provide himself opportunities in the line. He capitalizes, and now is unable to make his first, as Belford checks in for Cafaro. Looks like number 1, Jay Sahara, is getting ready to check back into the game. And with 5 minutes left to go in this heated game, Christie nails the second. And the lead now increased to 5 as O'Hara does check in, or he checks out of the game for number 11, Billy Miller. Hanaszewski now cutting, weaving through the defense, finds Ronzio. Ronzio back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski looking for someone. He drives, kicked it back to Ronzio on the corner. Ronzio driving. He finds Verhulst wide open from 3. And the last second defense by Scheslin contests the shot, and he cannot convert. Now Christie, he drove, cannot convert the layup. Verhulst collected the rebound, and as he was doing so, his 1 foot he had on the floor was on the out of bounds line. And as a result, Christie will inbound. Slaps the ball, looking for someone, looking for the play to develop. He finds number 14. But before the ball can reach number 14, Sean Nolan, it's a steal by Ryan Verhulst, making up for his missed 3. And so Hanaszewski now to Verhulst, back to Hanno. Hanno looking for someone. Kluszewski at the elbow. He's the person to watch as Verhulst fires to Ronzio, who fires himself from 3, cannot convert. But the offensive rebounding by these Hersey Huskies, something to watch as Schmitz battles his way over a taller defender to collect the possession. And before a jump ball can be called, Coach Austin Scott signals for a timeout. A smart timeout, Sam Sobchak, for these Hersey Huskies, preserving their offensive possession and in a game in which each possession truly does count. What do you make of this 5-point margin here, Sobs?
It's very intense. These last few minutes are going to be very intense. This is anyone's game right now. The Huskies can easily get back up into the lead with these 5 points, and the Meadows can easily keep the lead. It's just depending who wants it more and who has a better defense, and as for Hersey, who has a better offense.
And so last game, the one that was previously broadcast with the girls' varsity game, number 3, Alexa Davis for the Rolling Meadows Mustangs scored 27 of her team's 54 points, good for half exactly, in their win over the Hersey Huskies. And we thought 27 points was a lot. Max Christie tonight has 29 for the Mustangs, which is better than his season average of 18.5. As Verhulst inbounds to Hanaszewski, he finds Schmidt. Schmidt on the wing, he drives, instead defers to Hanaszewski, who fires back to Schmidt on the cut. What a beautiful play by the Hersey Huskies. Jason Schmidt on the cut. What a seamless, oh man. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but I did not see that coming. Matt Scheslin has been peak performance all night tonight. Really a beauty to watch. He's been nailing jumpers and loses his head for a moment as he double dribbles. And the quick Hersey bucket by Schmidt is followed by a quick Mustangs turnover. And so the Huskies have the ball once again. Verhulst inbounds to Hanaszewski, calling for some separation. A screen by Ronzio as Verhulst is open on the right side. Verhulst back to Hanaszewski. He finds Schmidt. Schmidt to Verhulst, the defender. Last second closes in. And oh my goodness, I have not seen a reaction by the crowd and bench similar to what I've just seen as Verhulst nails the 3-point jumper. What a change of tide in this game as the steal by the Husky defense as Hanaszewski finds Ronzio, and the crowd now standing on their feet as Hanaszewski fires from mid-range to the all-conference guard, cannot convert, as a foul is now called on the Hersey Huskies. Jason Schmidt is being called by the referees as impeding the offense, or rather the possession of the Meadows Mustangs. And because the Huskies had committed so many fouls in this third quarter of the second half, the Mustangs are now in the bonus. And at the line to shoot both free throws is tonight's leading scorer and probably player of the game, Max Christie, as Schmidt checks out of the game in favor of Belford. And number 4, Sopkowitz for the Mustangs, checks out of the game in favor of number 10, Javante Warner. So Christie at the line. Only Schussling is the other Mustang inside the paint. Kluszewski with one hand collects the rebound. And as Christie missed his one free throw in the 1-on-1, the Huskies once again have the ball. Verhulst finds Kluszewski at the top of the key. He's dribbling. He should probably pick it up, and he does. He fires back to Verhulst, who fires himself from 3. And the red-hot Verhulst, every once in a while he'll miss one, and that was the case there as Christie drives. Great defense by the Huskies, but an even better putback by Max Christie, who responds to his own miss and gets the tip in. And Ronzio now finds Verhulst, who kicks it to Hanaszewski, back to Kluszewski. Kluszewski bodies his man on the floor as Ronzio fires from 3. Christie leaps out of nowhere and collects the rebound. Max Christie, what a performance. He's only a sophomore, ladies and gentlemen. And he has 31 points of his team's 49. Schussling now drives. And as he fires, he is fouled by number 12, Matty Schussling. Mustangs now. This could be the dagger, even though they're only up 2. These free throws here, there's a lot of time left. These free throws could be pretty significant in how these Huskies game plan the rest of the way. Right now it's a 1-possession game. They're only down by 2. But if both free throws are made, it now turns into a 2-possession game. But like I mentioned earlier, the game's not over yet.
No, there's still 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. There's quite a bit of time to get some more baskets and just get back in the lead.
And before Schussling can attempt his free throws, his head coach, Kevin Katovich, calls a timeout. And I'm hearing from our PA announcer tonight that there are 3 timeouts remaining for both teams. Well, what a game we're seeing tonight. The Hersey Varsity girls team battled all the way through, but then the Mustangs were able to put it away in the last game we saw in the fourth quarter. It wasn't really, I mean, they won by a score of 54-41, so a 13-point margin is quite significant. What a different story in this game. The Mustangs still have the lead, but it's neck and neck. Each possession matters. And Coach Austin Scott, along with his staff of athletic trainers Rick Bacon, Ari Hirschfield, and David Pepas, along with assistant coaches Michael White, Rick DeVito, Greg Cadle, Bruce Mills, current college sophomore John Ocon, Dave Scott, his father, Don Rowley, former Hersey Varsity head coach, and an original staffer at Hersey High School, and Miguel Melendez, all are preaching the same thing to their players. Mustang staff talking with, I believe that to be number 10, Javante Warner. As Schussling collapses after the timeout and misses his first free throw. Let's see if he can regain his confidence and nail the second. All of the Huskies players are in the front court as Schussling misses both free throws, and all of the Mustangs players are in the back court. As Ronzio now with possession, passes it back to Hanaszewski. Both of them look to cross half court, and they do. Ronzio dribbles, passes back to Hanaszewski. He's dribbling, guarded by Schussling, who looks to recover after both of those missed free throws. Hanaszewski to Ronzio. Ronzio at the wing. He passes back to Hanno. Hanaszewski finds Kluszewski, who drives to the hole, fearlessly lays in the bucket. What a clutch performance by Jacob Kluszewski, who now has 13 huge points of his own. And the game is now tied. And so Rolling Meadows guard Sean Nolan received the pass at the top of the key, and instead of shooting the 3, drove to the rim and scored a layup of his own, and now the Mustangs are once again up by 2. Belford in the corner, kicks it back to Hanaszewski. Hanaszewski looking for someone, dribbles instead out to the top near midcourt. Belford receives the handoff from Hanishevsky. He's covered by Shesling. Belford looking to Kluszewski, and a chance for a foul there. None was called in this closely contested, heated game, and instead the missed shot yields a Mustangs rebound and Mustangs offensive possession. Christie near the Husky edge. He's dribbling, guarded by Belford. Belford solid on defense throughout the night tonight. Christie driving, finds Shesling, and as Hanishevsky scrambles to recover, Shesling kicks it out to number 11. That's Billy Miller, who finds Christie once again. And so these Rolling Meadows Mustangs, with the 2-point lead, are taking all the time in the world as they kick it out to the corner. Number 14, Sean Nolan, nails the three. And I don't know about you, but I thought that could have been an offensive foul.
I saw that too.
What a strong offensive or defensive performance by the Huskies. And I don't know if the refs missed it or what happened, but regardless of tonight's outcome, I mean, you always want to win. You always want a victory for your program, yet you have to be impressed with the amount of heart that these Huskies are showing on the floor. They are fearless. They are not letting any easy buckets come for the Mustangs, and they are leaving it all out on the court tonight. A lot of attempts at charges, a lot of charges called by these referees. I mean, ultimately, you can't blame these referees. The referees are doing the best they can every night in, night out. They've done the game quite well so far.
Yes.
But not to the satisfaction of Austin Scott and his staff. And so now the Huskies have possession with 1 minute to go and a deficit of 5. It's not unworldly for the comeback to happen, but it does seem quite unlikely. And Verhulst now inbounds to Hanishevsky. And with 53 seconds on the clock, a sense of urgency is required. And Shesling prevents Hanishevsky from driving. He passes to Kluszewski. Kluszewski back to Hanishevsky. A three is needed at some point, and Hanishevsky fires and nails it. Hanishevsky, I don't think I've seen a more clutch bucket in my life. And so now, Nolan for the Mustangs drives on Hanishevsky, on Kluszewski, and instead of driving right into the offensive foul, he kicks it back out to Christie. Christie near midcourt, Belford guarding him, not letting him get past. And with the Huskies down 2, a defensive possession is needed. And with a deficit, oh my goodness, I can't believe what I've just seen. I do believe that is the correct call by the referees. I do believe that a timeout was signaled before the steal, but the Hersey Huskies fans obviously do not agree. And so, just a quick recap, Max Christie was double-teamed, picked up his dribble, and was about to lose possession. He attempted to pass it out to one of his teammates at midcourt, and instead of the Kluszewski turned layup to tie this game with 10 seconds remaining, instead, head coach Kevin Katovich smartly signals for a timeout, and the Mustangs will regain possession with 12 seconds to go. It'd be interesting to look back at the replay or the broadcast if you were to rewind at the on the YouTube for all you fans out there and check it out yourselves. But between the time it takes for the coach to signal for a timeout and the referee to blow the whistle, it is quite likely that the timeout was called before the steal. And obviously the fans aren't having any of it, but now they're expressing their full support for these Hersey Huskies. And the same for the Mustangs fans for their Rolling Meadows varsity basketball team. And now number 14, Sean Nolan, inbounds with 12 seconds remaining to Shesling, who was immediately fouled by the all-conference guard last year, senior number 12, Matt Hanishevsky. Hanishevsky now with only 2 fouls in this game. None of the Huskies really in foul trouble except for Jacob Kluszewski, who has 4. And with a total of 10 team fouls, Shesling now goes to the line. Remember, folks, he missed 2 earlier, and he makes the first. A 3-pointer is required for the Huskies at this point in time to tie the game, unless Shesling can convert, which he does not. And Kluszewski collects the rebound, and a timeout is immediately signaled by head coach Austin Scott. And with the ball, collected on the defensive rebound, the Huskies will receive possession at half court.
This game could go into overtime if these Huskies pull off a three-pointer once they get possession.
You know, it's an achievement to battle back into this game. At one point, they were losing 33-22, and they've closed the deficit of 11 back down to 3. And with 11 seconds to go, a lot of things need to break the Huskies' way. Not only do they need an open look and a well-designed play, but they also need a hot shooter like what we've seen tonight from Ryan Verhulst. He needs to come through in the clutch or whoever the play is designed for. And that shot needs to fall. And so many things need to happen for these Huskies to tie the game and go into overtime. And is there even a question, Sobs? Is there a chance that they go for the easy 2-point bucket instead of the 3, or do you think they go for the 3 right now?
I think they go straight for the three-pointer and put it over.
And Austin Scott, he's such an experienced, not only a former player, an all-state selection as a senior in high school, and a college player at Wisconsin Oshkosh. So not only does he have all of the athletic experience, but also the coaching experience. He's been an assistant at Lake Forest High School for 7 years, during which he competed as a coach against Jalen Brunson at Stevenson High School in the season in which Lake Forest only lost 3 to Stevenson all 3 times. And he now designs a play for Hanishewski, who's driving after receiving the inbound from Belford. And the play was not seen by the Mustangs defense whatsoever, because Schessling fouled Hanishewski at half court. And Schessling is quite frustrated at himself, but that might not be the worst thing for the Mustangs, as now the time, instead of 11 seconds, is now only 8.7 for these Huskies. And once again, the Huskies will have possession and will inbound. What a game. What a game, Sam Sobchak. And
what a
with
game.
the Huskies now being out of timeouts, if the Mustangs convert a bucket after the Huskies either miss their own shot or convert their own, there's no stopping this Mustangs team. So all the Mustangs need to do to win this game is either A, play a great defensive possession in the game, or D, commit a turnover or force a turnover and score on their own end, and then there just simply won't be enough time.
Exactly.
There is a running clock after each made bucket, after all, but yet the same point applies to the Hersey Huskies.
Yes.
Because if they convert their own basket, unless head coach Kevin Katovich of the Mustangs signals for a timeout, the clock will run out. And so it seems quite likely that we'll see one of 2 results in the next 30 seconds or so as the teams get collected and leave their huddles during the timeout. Either the Huskies design a play for a 3-point shot to fall and go to overtime, or the Mustangs will win this game. And so leading point scorers, number 1, Jacob Kluszewski, and number 3, Ryan Verhulst with 13 apiece. As the focal points, we'll see a lot of attention on defense. Kluszewski in inbound. Verhulst, the 3-point specialist. Verhulst sprinting. And yet the pass goes to Belford on the wing. He is smothered. He finds Ronzio. Ronzio forces himself to chuck up the 3, but with 3 seconds left, Hanishewski is able to receive the rebound, does not convert, and with 1 second to go, the offensive rebound simply is not able to be passed back out in time, and the Hersey Huskies will fall to 0-1 in the MSL East Division. The Mustangs will improve to 1-0 in the MSL East Division, and both teams finishing a hotly contested game here in the Ken Carter Gymnasium, with the Mustangs winning by a score of 55-52. And both teams, even though it was a battle of not only athleticism but also mentality, both teams getting heated in each other's faces, showing the proper sportsmanship as they shake hands.
Yes.
And as this game comes to an end. And so, Sam Sobchak, quickly, what are your last thoughts on this impressive performance by both teams?
It was a great game. Both teams were putting full effort out there. They were running fast, having good defense, and they both had a great opportunity to win. But it just shows that the Mustangs were just that more determined to get it. They won it by just a couple points, right? 1 or 2 points?
By 3 points.
3 points. 3 points.
And a lot of optimism, a lot of hope for both teams. After all, this is still only November. This basketball season and the IHSA lasts for months, ladies and gentlemen. And so as the Huskies play, they haven't even hit I think this is their 5th game, if I remember correctly. And so, yes, it is. And even though they fought at 3-2, there's so much more basketball to be played. So many different places for improvement across the roster. They will see Max Christie and these Rolling Meadows Mustangs once again later in the season when they play Rolling Meadows at Rolling Meadows on January 18th. But I mean, wow, what a game. And as Austin Scott falls to 3-2 in his first year of coaching, he still has to be impressed with his group of guys and how they responded.
It was a very good game.
And so looking ahead quickly to the upcoming schedule for both teams, the Huskies, they will be playing Hoffman Estates next week at Hoffman Estates on December 4th at 7:30. And then December 7th, only 3 days later, at Wheeling at 7:30 as well. So while they're 0-1 at home so far, they look to respond by scoring 2 quality road wins. And for the Mustangs, their upcoming 3 games, they see themselves at Palatine at 7:30 in a conference non-division game, and then followed up by Buffalo Grove at 7:30 on the 7th, and against Wheaton Academy at home on the 11th at 7 p.m. And so for Sam Sobchak and the rest of the amazing Dispatch crew, I'm Carter Zagorski, signing off. Thanks for tuning in.